On The Entrepreneur this week, we make pieces of art with George Kinuthia of Perfection Plus Limited. Then in the second half, we are dressed by Ogake Musomi of Ogake Accessories. Workers busy at work at the Perfection Plus Limited workshop. A craft business, Perfection Plus specializes in personal and corporate gifts made from eco-friendly wood. The company also creates award trophies and early childhood development materials. Perfection Plus is the brainchild of George Kinuthia.
Started in Form 4. And I was a prefect in Form 4, and I lost 4 prefect badges consecutively, and I was too ashamed to get a 5th badge from the school. So I made my own badge out of wood. And my mom was running a craft company also, and so I used some of the materials from her company and some materials that I got from the school, a branch of a tree, to make a badge for myself. And the difference was the other prefect badges were all written just prefect, so anyone could take the badge, but for mine I wrote my title, which was a Grieve Library Prefect, so no one could take my badge and everyone wanted a badge. Before egg.
They say that the apple doesn't fall far away from the tree. George was encouraged to go into self-employment by his mother, herself an entrepreneur. However, before venturing into business, his mother encouraged him to be creative and to think outside the box.
I was always encouraged to be enterprising, and I worked for 1 year after high school for my mom, and after that just started doing my own thing. I think employment is limiting. You can't do what you want. You can't you're not free to just be wild.
Establishing the venture was the easy part. Sustaining and growing Perfection Plus Limited was never going to be a walk in the park. Kinuthia, a graduate of French from Kenyatta University, admits that a lack of management experience proved an impediment when he established his business.
Clients wouldn't really respect or honor their terms of payment. So that was quite a challenge, having too much cash out. Then you have to wonder, you have to decide, do I chase the money or try to keep the relationship? Yeah, so that was challenging. I guess management issues are also a challenge, because again for me, I started very young, and I didn't go to business school, so I didn't know how to manage people, how to manage supply chain and all those things.
While issues concerning clients and management could be easily solved by enrolling in a management class, Kinuthia faced yet another challenge that almost destroyed his business before it even got off the ground.
We've had 2 fires here, so our graph in terms of sales has been spiky. Every time, well, not every time, but after each fire, friends of mine have said, it was good while it lasted, now look for a job. But I can't even think about getting a job. Yeah, I would rather create jobs for other people.
Perfection Plus Limited was established 18 years ago. The company uses wood from the jacaranda tree. According to Kinuthia, the jacaranda tree is a sustainable source of raw materials. Kinuthia explains that they do not cut the whole tree. Instead, they prune it. The biggest advantage of pruning is that there are shoots that spring up, thus resulting in the growth of new branches.
Before we settled on jacaranda, we did tests with many different trees. We tried grevillea, we tried eucalyptus, we tried one called mokindori. That's the local name, I don't know the English name. We tried We tried podo, we tried cypress, we tried pine, and jacaranda came out tops because one, it's a softwood, and it's not an indigenous species. It was like imported into Kenya. Two, it is the background color is very light, and most of our products we write on them in black ink, so it stands out and gives a good contrast. Another thing is when it's drying, it doesn't crack very easily, and also when it's drying, the bark doesn't peel off. Something else is it doesn't have a lot of sap or gum inside it, so it's easy to work with. It's also readily available, and it doesn't have any commercial value.
On the other hand, using wood from the tree has its disadvantages. One of this is that the tree is susceptible to a certain insect that destroys it. Kinuthia learned this the hard way as he lost 2 lorry loads of the raw material. As an entrepreneur, it is important to come up with solutions for the problems facing your business. Kinuthia did just that when he came up with an ingenious way of fighting the insects.
So we don't like using a lot of chemicals in our processes. So we figured the best way to save our wood from the insect is by just creating some physical barriers, not chemical barriers. And the best way was a greenhouse, where you'll have some mesh that will allow the air to move in and out, but it will keep the insects from entering to where the wood is. The greenhouse, it has a double benefit. One, it is always warmer than the external environment, so the wood is always drying. Another thing is you can control the temperature using a shade net. So when it's too hot, you cover the greenhouse with the shade net. When it's cold, you remove the shade net. So we found out that we are more consistent in our drying process.
Due to the fine craftsmanship associated with Kinuthia's products, most of this clientele are surprised when they find out that they are manufactured in Kikuyu. The company currently has 11 employees. It is these employees that inspire Kinuthia despite all the challenges that he might be facing.
As a country, I believe we import too many things, and we have very high levels of unemployment. So if I can do my part in building this nation, that's worth it. Yeah. Most of our production staff are disadvantaged in one way or another. Like our designer, he finished high school but didn't go any further. He is interested in design, so we said, you come and learn on the job with us. We look more at what can you do, and then we train you, and then we can use that, both of us, to build this nation.
Even though the company plans to diversify, for perfection, PLAS wood is the core material of their products. One item that the company is not keen on manufacturing is furniture. While diversification can increase the profits of an organization, specialization ensures that a company retains its competitive advantage.
We've already diversified a bit by combining wood with other materials. Like we do a bit of wood and leather, we do wood and perspex, and in future it will still be wood and something else, maybe metal, and again depending on what the market tells us they need, because the good thing is that we are innovators. So if the market says we want another product or another material, we'll be able to go into that.
In order to reach a wider market, the company hopes to utilize social media. Currently, Perfection Plus ensures that all its products are branded.
Our expansion plans are to try and penetrate these markets deeper. That's one. And then two, we are going to look for new markets for the same products, regionally and even globally. And we're also going to go into new product lines. Yes. So we're going all out in terms of penetrating the current market deeper, going into new markets with the same products, and then even coming up with new products to give to our current market.
The entrepreneur hopes to increase Perfection Plus Limited's capacity and also train his employees so as to improve their output. So what advice does George Kinuthia have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
To go to business school first. Learn the basics of business and then go into business. But there's a counter to that. It's kind of like a catch-22 because you need to know that you're cut out for business before you go into business school. There are many business schools and so many entrepreneurship courses, and people attend those courses, but they think that that is what is going to make them an entrepreneur. It's not. You have to be an entrepreneur first and then get the skills to help you manage and grow your business, as opposed to think that going to school will make you an entrepreneur. I don't think it will.
Don't go away, the entrepreneur will be right back.